On this episode of Crispy Presents Widescreen Perspectives, gonna be giving my thoughts on the new Dragonball Daima series. Doja Cat culturally appropriating Filipino culture and the controversy with that. A requested take on Lizzo's versus her dancers. So my bad on that taking so long, by the way. So folks out of Portland culturally appropriating Boba and gaslighting Asian folks. Weirdos. And giving a shout out to an Asian American hero, 15-year-old Chinese American Peter Wang. You are missed, sir. So enjoy. So Dragonball Daima is a new Dragon Ball series with all the characters from the Dragon Ball franchise as like baby versions of themselves. So, Dragon Ball GT, think Goku from that show. And I'll be honest, I'm really not invested in it at all. Now, I'm into anime, but like not as much as you would think. Being an Asian dude, now I'm just, I don't know, some people just take that way too hard, that whole thing of, buying body pillows and having like weird backgrounds and screensavers on your phone, laptop, or something. So yeah, that's too much. Though I will say going to like an anime con and stuff just casually, it's kind of cool because seeing people cosplay, dressing up as folks, that's honestly kind of neat. I think it's underrated, especially just places like that, or even just like Comic Cons and stuff. Like I've always wanted to go to Comic Con, but just a place to just kind of geek out, just share the fandom, just with people you probably wouldn't normally meet. Though that stereotype of some folks not wearing deodorant is true. Bro, just wear deodorant. Like, how hard is that? But my beef with Dragon Ball, it's just clearly the dude, Akira something, last name I can't pronounce. Dude, and shout out to dude referencing Chinese mythology when he was coming up with the show. Clearly didn't think the show would be going on for as long as it did, because the pacing of the show is just awful. Like, at some point, like, the main characters, the non-Saiyan folks, like, they're not useful in the fight, like, at all. Like, they can't keep up, dude. Goku's like Super Saiyan 10 or whatever at this point. And like, I genuinely feel bad. Like, pretty much all the non-Saiyan folks are basically Yamchas at this point. Like, they're just waiting to get their ass whooped. So, it's just everything after, like, the Cell Saga, and honestly, even GT is underrated, but everything after the Cell Saga, just, at this point, just, there's no people like it just because like they grew up with it, but I don't think anybody would randomly check it out this is a good show. I'll start from the beginning. It's like, it's just doesn't, the farther you get along, especially after the Cell Saga kind of like started to struggle a little bit, but after a while it's just excuse for the voice actors just to yell because the writers didn't think of they just gave up at like being creative. Like, oh, how's Goku going to win this fight? Is he gonna have a new I don't know, move they learned from Master Roshi or whatever. Like, nah, they're just gonna yell some more until it gets to Super Saiyan 9 or 15 or something. I don't know. Are y'all anime fans? Are you excited about Dragon Ball Daima or whatever? Should they have ended at GT when there was a definitive ending? I don't know. Y'all tell me. So, Doja Cat has a new song called Baluts. It's a Filipino word, Filipino dish, so I'm not Filipino, so my apologies for butchering that name. And she's getting slammed by Filipino folks, Filipino fans, accusing her of, misrepresenting the culture, and, cultural appropriation, that kind of stuff. For anybody that's, familiar with what's been going on with her lately, she's kind of been going back and forth with fans, just not really liking her fans because she feels like they are entitled to her attention. They think that they have a friendship relationship with her just because they're fans of her music. She doesn't like that. And, it's crazy, because she's been involved in a lot of controversy, I think she released a music video recently, had like a lot of demonic imagery and whatnot. She said she was a fan of like horror movie stuff, so in that sense I can kind of see the inspiration a little bit. I'm a fan of most horror movies myself, not all of them. Anything that gets into like exorcism stuff, that's not really my thing personally. But yeah, I can see if you saw images from the music video, why she would get like demonic accusations. So she's just, got a lot of stuff. And I've seen videos she's done like before she blew up, back when she had eyebrows. She was cool with Asian folks. I think she was a dancer prior to rapping, doing music and stuff. So it's interesting, like her like career trajectory, right? And I guess the way she describes it, it's a metaphor for Twitter stans, for, now known as X, and the death of Twitter toxicity. The beginning of X and the end of tweets. Doja Cat, who released her new album Scarlet on Friday, continued. And she didn't respond to requests for comments, so she's not really looking for input or looking to explain herself. So, for anybody that doesn't know what balut is, it is a cooked fertilized duck egg that's eaten from the shell. It's not a live animal. Like, she's proclaimed her fans are trying to eat her alive or something like that, right? Or a bird that's being eaten alive. That's what she thought it was. She's been called ignorant. Well, many people saying her words could prompt more culturally or racially insensitive interpretations of Filipino cuisine. And it's a delicacy and a dish that it's pretty popular in the Philippines. I've heard some people talk about, it from my Filipino friends and stuff. It's not really something I would personally eat, but, it's more cultural thing, more than like, it's not really my thing, if that makes sense. So, I don't know, it's weird when, like, artists, creatives use something from another language or another culture and they do it in a weird way, because I don't think it's malicious, right? She needed a word that kind of represents how she feels about her fans or supporters. It reminds me of like, Nicki Minaj when she had a music video and she was like using a bunch of Asian imagery and she's like, I'm a fan of Japanese culture. But then she had like Korean words in the back. It was super awkward. Or I think it was Michael B. Jordan, the actor, not the basketball player. He has a alcohol brand or something. I forget what it's called. Something with alcohol. One of them celebrity brands. And he had a word they had named, and it was like linked to slavery or something in the Caribbean. It was really insensitive. He ended up apologizing for it, and promised to change the name and stuff. But it's just this stuff like this is just super awkward, and I don't know if Doja Cat will either clarify or apologize. I doubt it, But I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think this is just unfounded, or do you think she should have done, more research before she use a name like this that has this type of significance, particularly among the Filipino community? Alright, so shout out to Fantastic Baby 1224 on YouTube for requesting this. This is kind of old, but kind of want to give my 2 cents on this. So Lizzo, don't know, a very famous singer, performer, flutist, personality, and she's kind of a extra healthy woman, kind of the whole body positive thing. And because she's so open about being body positive despite being a little bit bigger, it's gotten some flack on it, and to each their own. If I don't know how long term, how really healthy it is to be her size, but hey, it's her life. She, like all of us, we gotta live our own lives and deal with the consequences of that life. She had some controversy come up. She got accused by 2 of her dancers that filed lawsuits. I'm sorry, 3 of her dancers. I'm reading it now. About being discriminated against, some misconduct, and allegedly Lizzo also giving them putting them in unwanted sexual situations. Basically, the opposite of her public persona, because she's known for being incredibly nice and loving, encouraging, welcoming, and this stuff that came out is just very complete opposite. So I know that like I mentioned earlier, she's had her own controversies with her own weight and stuff, and she's also done some other stuff which I don't agree with. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I remember one time at an NBA game, she had her ass hanging out. I think I'm not sure what kind of pants or dress or something she was wearing, but the cheeks were just hanging out. And I just remember thinking don't kids come to these games? That's not at all, it's kind of gross, and that's just gross in general. It doesn't matter if big or skinny or whatever, right? That's just, but also aren't those chairs that's public, random people in the public be coming out to these games and stuff. So I'm just thinking that's not even sanitary. It's kind of gross. But anyways, just back to this controversy. It really doesn't help her case, because especially when you have a big platform and whatnot, the more famous you come, the higher you get, the more that people want to see you fail, want to see you mess up, will use any ammunition you give them to try to say your flaws are a person's flaws is that's all they are, is their flaws. So I don't envy it. Envy kind of just that pressure of having such a big platform. If these allegations are true, it's not a good look. Cause it doesn't matter what your hang up is or what your supposed defect or whatever it is, it'll never be a pass, just not be a decent human being. So, if she really did wrong her dancers, and there's been some stories that's come out from people that were formerly associated with her that can kind of corroborate this pattern. So, if true, I hope they get justice, and I hope she's held accountable. And if it's not true, I hope she's exonerated of this. So, this is awkward. Man, I didn't think I was going to have to talk about this. It's some random news that came, on my feed. And it's coming from Portland, Oregon. This business founded by someone named Allison Sada and Parv Sada. I believe that's South Asian. I believe it's Indian. I'm not entirely sure, but I know it's South Asian. And excuse my pronunciation. I'm not great with Asian names in general, so which is ironic, but it is what it is. They had this. They founded this, shop. It's a boba shop called the Better Boba. And for those of you guys that don't know, boba is a Taiwanese kind of dessert drink. You can make it a bunch of different ways. Some people use natural ingredients. Some use, more not so natural ingredients. Pretty much just different variations, whatnot. But the weird thing is, it's how they branded it. First I'll call it the Better Boba. Awkward, but when you're in, especially in the food business, you obviously want to differentiate yourself from your competitors because it's highly competitive, and you want people to know your food's better. So it's a weird choice, but it is what it is. But it's the whole justification for it. Basically, they said, we like boba, we've been drinking it, and we just didn't like how it tastes. It didn't taste healthy enough. Didn't have enough natural ingredients, and it's just really weird. So we decided to start our own. And boba is a pretty common thing. Now, it's it used to be, especially growing up, outside the local Chinese spot or Japanese spot or whatever. Asian food, Asian, just drinks and stuff, which is kind of that weird, gross thing that, uncultured people used to just say, ew, what's that? But, we got to a point, luckily, that stuff like boba is pretty, acceptable and, embraced. The issue with it is people, or at least some people, these folks, are way too comfortable, not connecting something like boba to the people that made boba, right? And it's just, I don't know, man. It's just weird because it screams cultural appropriation. And it's one thing if India was known for boba, right? I could say, I guess the argument could be made like the husband was like, this is something that I grew up with or whatnot, but that's not really something I'm familiar with. Like, I don't, the few Indian folks I know, like, they don't talk about boba being like a cuisine or something they grew up with. It's like for like Asian folks, particularly Southeast Asian folks, even though like pho is a Vietnamese dish, I'm Thai. That's a pretty common like regional dish. It's originally a Vietnamese dish. It's had variations, just throughout the region. It's now more, just acceptable as just something to get when you go to an Asian spot. So that doesn't really work in their defense, and it's hard to kind of distance how Asian folks have been treated in this country. We've been demonized, made caricatures, racist portrayals in like movies, TV shows, and propaganda posters, all that stuff. And it's just such a weird, awkward, and goofy look. I went to the page, check it out, and they had their apology, right? Because, obviously when you get called out, you give out an apology. And it's, man, this is a tone-deaf apology if I've ever seen one. Their whole apology is, we're sorry that we said that we didn't like the taste of other people's bobas when we called ourselves the better boba. Despite the fact that, Taiwanese people, came up with boba, despite the fact that there are natural variations of boba, we wanted to make some quick cash and culturally colonize this dessert drink that's a sweet dessert drink, by the way, and somehow try to make that healthy. It's like Diet Coke if you don't pay attention to the ingredients in Diet Coke. And we are open to engaging in the conversation. And they turn out the comments on their whole page. It wasn't just the most recent, a couple weeks. I literally scrolled down to their oldest, their first post. Comments are turned off on there too. The only thing that they haven't done yet, just because there's so many, is start deleting comments. Because, that's the last move that they'll probably make, because, they want to put off a family-friendly image. It's one thing if they had Asian employees or another owner that was, Taiwanese or just, Asian, where that, boba's popular, right? It'd be one thing. Then it wouldn't be as big of a deal, because it'd be I could buy into the idea that the Asian dude or the Asian chick introducing a boba, and hey, let's make a business out of this. Because I actually was thinking about, before my tech, thinking about starting a food truck around sweets and desserts and boba being a thing with my guy Devin, who's black. So it's not out of the realm of possibility, but yeah, it's just gaslighting. And I think someone else, I forget the name, did a whole breakdown going through the pages. They didn't post anything during May, which is Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, right? You're gonna borrow, quote unquote, borrow, really stealing. Such a thing like boba, which is so synonymous with Asian folks. Show love to them, right? Nope. 15 posts in May, nothing. Had a post for May the 4th, be with you for Star Wars Day. And another business, because apparently a dude that I'm kind of referencing also found another business that's kind of related. They during May they celebrate Cinco de Mayo, and so it's not like they don't know about it; they just choose to willingly ignore it. And I know it's getting long; I'm almost done. But I remember when I went to this place, this chicken spot, and it was kind of near a part of downtown Nashville, just outside downtown Nashville, near the fairgrounds. For anybody that's local, that's been to Nashville and familiar. And I was reading the menu, and they had this thing called, like, you could pick different sauces for your chicken, by the way. They had this, like, Asian sauce. It was literally called Asian sauce. And I knew what it was. It was, like, sweet sauce for, like, egg rolls and stuff. And the poor waitress, I kind of feel bad that I put her on the spot, because I'm pretty sure the owners did not prepare her for this when they hired her. I remember asking her, like, what makes this sauce so Asian? And the look that she gave me, like what the hell kind of question is that? Because, I know a gentrified spot when I see one. And, props to them making money, because, hey, if I get away with even if I could get away, I wouldn't do it. But, I mean, it's a cutthroat word out there when it comes to food and drink and just, being a restaurant business. But, man, you gotta do it in a way where you're appreciating and not appropriating. Where you're not just take, but also give. Like, if you don't have a genuine relationship with the people you're appreciating, then it's appropriating. Simple as that. And to these folks, like, I'm not saying to go barrage their Instagram or whatnot, because their comments are turned off and you really can't. I'm just saying, like, be careful where you take your business. Playing restaurants, playing places to serve drinks, food trucks, all that stuff. But, just be intentional, because not everybody that makes your food, makes your drinks, actually cares about the people that made the food, made the drinks. And we shouldn't be rewarding bad behavior like that. If they show love and it's genuine and not just for PR or to gaslight. But if people, show love in a genuine way, and if people are doing it in a way that actually has a symbiotic relationship with the people they're drawing influence from, cool. But if it's not, we can do better than to give them our business. Simple as that. So shout out to the Chinese American Museum in DC on this one to add some positive Asian American news. Shout out to them. They'll be giving a posthumous award to Peter Wang, a teenager who showed incredible bravery during the 2018 mass shooting at Parkland High School in Florida. Right, this is for their Golden Lantern Awards. And for those of you guys that don't know, and I don't blame you, because there's just a hell of a lot of mass shootings. it's sad that this has become normal. February 14, 2018, he was shot and killed in the hallway by a coward of a mass shooter, at school. When he was 15, he was holding the door open so his teachers, his classmates could escape literally while he's being shot. Like, I can't imagine. I can't imagine just, being in that kind of situation, right? And to be able to just show that much, care and concern for your schoolmates and teachers and whatnot, and not just caring about them, but giving your life so that they could live, right? So, props to him and his family, and, something that really, mine's just the fact that he's being recognized. I kind of heard about this, but I didn't really see it on my timeline. This dude should be seen as a national hero, family getting invited to the White House type of stuff. I don't know if it was. Maybe they were. I don't know, but I didn't hear anything about it. And Peter Wang, he had dreams of going to the U.S. military academy, and he's wearing his JROTC uniform the day he was shot, which is, definitely would have been a perfect fit for, serving in the armed forces, defending our country. And it's sad that he had to do it at home. And I won't get into the nuances of that because that's a whole different topic, or just that's a whole rabbit hole to dive into maybe another day. But I gotta give a shout out to the U.S. Military Academy at West Point. They a week after the mass shooting, they posthumously accepted Peter Wang into the military academy at West Point. So this is bittersweet, but I'm glad a true American, Asian American national hero like Peter Wang was recognized by the military academy at West Point. I'm glad he's being recognized, in DC at the Chinese American Museum. And I hope that his story gets shared out there beyond just, Asian American news, media and outlets and stuff. I really hope more folks hear, about what he did to save the lives of his classmates on that dreadful day. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Crispy Presents Widescreen Perspectives. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you want me to talk about next. Hit up my comments, my DMs, and be sure to follow me on Spotify, whatever your podcast app is. Be sure to leave me some 5-star reviews. We definitely appreciate it. And be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at WS Perspectives with an S at the end. Love you guys, and until next time.